gonna take a trip down memory lane, man. 1994 to be exact is the year. And 94 was a good year, man. I was 14 years old, ninth grade. And I just had made my little introduction into hustling. Just been introduced to hustling. So at 13, 93, my my homegirl and them brother from the hood had ended up catching a charge and going to jail. I was too young to know if it was parish or prison. But anyway, he ended up going to jail. So they found some figure bone, which is fake crack. If you know, you know. So boom, their house was the jumping house. Everybody sit on the porch. We gonna play basketball, whatever it is we do to kill time, smoke weed because we smoking weed back then too. Their house was the house. So they find the stash, man. They pass it out to it ain't but 3 or 4 boys in the crew. Me, my Uncle Cup, my partner Devin Carpenter. Uh, Shit, that's really all I can remember. Like other dudes that was in the crew, it was some girls there. There were 2 Boogaloo, Alfred, Cherry. That was their grandmother house. That's my people. R.I.P. to them, as a matter of fact. But they found their brother's stash, passed it out. So now we all got some crack, some fake crack. And you got to realize our neighborhood is jumping. You walk, it's dope fiends everywhere. All you got to do is want to hustle or want some money, and the clientele right there for you. So they pass out this work. Boom, everybody. I sell 2 rocks. I'm off to the races. Now I'm getting some real. You know what I'm saying? You go get you 2 real double ups. Now you in the game for sure. But the way you do it, you go on the other end. See, we were sharp back then. So when I say 14, we ain't your average 14-year-old. Don't look at your son and think I'm talking about that, because for some reason we just matured a lot faster in that era. So, but we sharp though. So we go on the other end of the hood. Hit a few licks. That way, when you come back and you hustle in front of your spot, the motherfucker ain't coming back looking for you. Talking about this shit was some wax. You know what I'm saying? But hey, you had to be, if you be sharp to even know that. Because the average motherfucker will do it right there when they cut, knowing they got to come back there tomorrow with whatever they got going on. And no fiend ain't gonna do you nothing, because ain't nobody really gonna let them. But you never know. There's some cockstrong crackheads. So anyway, that's what my introduction to selling dope. Shit, we off to the races. So boom, outside my grandma's house, the crack houses, you roll. You walk outside, there you go, some money. So we doing that. And back then nigga wasn't buying too much of nothing, tennis shoes, weed to smoke, shit like that. So, you know, we find ourselves going to the weed man so much. We like, man, we need to start, and all our partners smoke. We need to start selling weed too at the spot. So now we got crack and weed. So me and my old man get wind of that I'm hustling. I think I tell him, my old man he was him in this era. You know what I'm saying? When you think of 200, 300, 400 pounds of weed, my old man had them back 80s and 90s. So I'm saying that to say I was ecstatic to, yeah, man, I'm hustling. You hear the stories when you're a kid, so man, you want to emulate that shit a little bit. So I let him know I'm hustling, man. You gotta know my daddy. He laughed. Oh yeah, yeah, I bet you, whatever. So he asked me what I'm hustling. So I'm telling him, tell him little crack and little weed. And he like, man, you need to stay away from that crack, man. That ain't where it's at. Woo, woo, woo. So boom, we had that conversation. Of course he tell me, man, son, I would rather you play sports. My daddy played basketball in college. He's 6'9", you know what I'm saying? Big, big, big fella. So he played basketball in college. So he like, I prefer you play sports. But man, just be safe, do what you do. That's the type of thing he is. So a month or 2 months later, This nigga pop up on him, and he got about 100 pounds of weed with him. And I never forget them words. You say you want to hustle, here you go. So he give me 10 pounds of weed, and shit, I was off to the races. Back then, a pound of weed going 800 wholesale where I'm from. Back then, a pound of weed going 800 wholesale, which run you about $50 an ounce, and you know QPs 225, shit like that, you know, so forth and so on. I mean 275, 300. I remember the days of QP being 300, but man, you used to could get 18 fucking dime bags out of an ounce. So it balanced out. It sounds astronomical when you hear these numbers, but it really balanced out. And in my opinion, it was way more money back then than it is now. I don't know what happened, but yeah, it was way more money back then than it is now. But anyway, so I made 10,000 out. I roughly made 10 grand off of it, you know, because I'm selling a few pounds, and then it was some fire. It was the best shit ever came through LA, man. Like niggas, you know, niggas from my era know when it came through, it was different. Some black skunk. I'm selling to the big niggas who used to sell me pounds. They want to get a pound or two. They want to get many as they can, but I'm rationing this shit out because shit, I got ounce licks, QP licks, fucking a dime bag licks. So I wasn't trying to flush my whole little plate of them niggas and then got to turn around and pay their prices. So I made 10, 12, 13,000 out the shit. But I'm saying I'm spending, but I know for a fact I made $1,000 because I was selling them 1,000 a pound on the wholesale tip. And because it was so good. And so man, this nigga bring me the weed, he disappeared. I don't hear from my daddy for about 3, 4 months. So in the midst of him getting ghost with the rest of his pack and doing whatever he did, he got jammed up with, you know, I'm hustling. I'm young for one. This is my first little old taste of some money. You know what I'm saying? Like that, there's some thousands. That was my first time touching some thousands. So I ain't really know what to do with the bread. You know, I did try to rescore and create something, but I'm 14, and you know, and I could see through bullshit. So I ended up going back to selling crack. And I'm buying shoes and video games. You know, I got every video game. You got to realize I'm a 14-year-old kid in high school. I'm live. Starter jackets. Uh, you know, going to the mall every Saturday. Movies every Saturday night. I'm treating all my partners. You know that. You know where to go. So anyway, and the nigga pop up about 3 months later, man. Well, how you looking? Nigga, I'm nervous as a motherfucker. But I do got about 3 grand. I say, man, I got $3,000. Because he was calling, I guess, he was just calling to see, you know, he was telling my mama he was locked up. He was just trying, he couldn't tell her what was up, but when I got on the phone, he asking me the questions I know the answers to. So I told him I had 3,000. I said I got about 3,000 out of little. And he was like, man, don't worry about it, just keep it. And that's a time I'll never forget, man, you know. I remember I'd be in PE in the ninth grade, and man, my partner, back then that was you do what you see done. So I saw all the niggas that with some money and fat knots, they kept it on them. You know what I'm saying? They kept a fat knot on them. So that's what I did. I take me $2,000 to school, 1,500. Me and my little partners are in gym counting it. You know, you putting the 20s with the 20s and the 10s with the 10s. You know, just really you capping a little bit. But I'm getting ready for the after school. I got to go hit the block for one, because my all the shit action at my grandma's house. I hustled in my grandma's hood. I lived off the street called Monroe. I was hustling over there. I could, I just didn't. I just know the lay of the land, and I go to school over here, so this is where I'm at. So yeah, man, I remember that like it was yesterday, man. And I wouldn't do that to my son. If my son was 14 years old, I ain't bringing that nigga a motherfucker 10 pounds of weed. I'm not doing nothing to be involved or influence that shit. So don't think this is a story of glorification. I'm definitely not glorifying. It was times late in life I wonder, like, damn, that nigga love me like that, you know. But I know he loved me. My pops just was trying to make up maybe for not being there. So I guess he figured he'd facilitate this because he did tell me positive, shoot ball, woo, woo, woo. But he wanted to, when you been absent out of your kid life, you're gonna try to do what you gotta do to be liked by him. So I think he was doing that to be liked by him because he wasn't being greedy. Shit, he ain't even come get the bread. So I can't say he was greedy. He trying to put you on so he got a new clientele. I mean, yeah, maybe that was a wishful thinking. But I think he wanted to be, at that time, he wanted to be my partner instead of my old man. He didn't want to be too hard on me because you already ain't been around. So the minute you start telling me how to live my life, I'm going to probably disengage or disassociate. But I used to ask myself, man, this nigga love me like that. But I look at the overall picture of the shit, man. Like, because I'm a parent and I ain't got grandkids. So I look at it from all spectrums. Like, I'm sure, I know he loved me. We done had these conversations. But I think he wanted to appeal to me. He wanted to fit in. He wanted me to like him like that. And that was my dad. I love the nigga regardless. But I'm just saying, the emotions a man go through trying to correct the fuck up. But yeah, man, that's what it is, man. But 99, actually that year was, man, that was all kind of shit happened, man. I stopped my uncle from shooting a nigga in the face. I'm standing on side of my first cousin. When he gets shot, Cantrell, rest in peace. Catch my first crack charge. Oh man, I gotta tell that story. Catch my first crack charge. All this happened in this year, in '94. So when I catch my first crack charge, so boom, me and my bro Dion, we at the what they call the trap. Now we at the spot doing what we do. We at my grandma's house. So I just sold out for the night. And I'm like, man, I got 5 rocks left. I say, shit, we're gonna go on to the other end of the hood and get a rental car. We're gonna find a rental car. Remember I told you we went to the other end of the hood when we flushed the figure bone. So, the hood road, different ends, got different things. So I said, man, let's walk to the other end and see if we can find a rental car. So man, we walking down there, we stop at my partner house. We just out there talking actually. Just man, the laws come out the bushes from across the street. They watching the house that we stop at. So my good green ass got the crack in a matchbox. Bozo move #1. But I don't, whatever. Got the shit in the crack on the matchbox. Throws it under the house. Them hoes crawl right under there and go get it. That's how I catch my first crack charge. And man, the town back then was so different because the judge over my case, which is Judge Roberts, he was the city court judge and juvenile judge. He Italian, they say he had mafia ties, but also had this guy in the city named Tony. He had a store called Tony's, and he Italian. They say they all mafia. He had a store where you could do credit, and I'm sure he did a bunch of other illegal shit now that I'm of age and just understand life and the way the organized crime working. When a motherfucker retired to Louisiana or somewhere down south, they bring this up north game down south, because he was do all kind of shit. He had a desk in the store. It was weird. He had a meat market, and it was a bodega. When you think back, it was a bodega in Louisiana. No gas pumps and nothing like that. But anyway, my daddy owned property two lots down from this store in the neighborhood. So when I come on crack charge, my mama go talk to Tony. Tony hook up with a lawyer. Camille Giordano was his name. And Judge Roberts was the judge. And I went to court and he just say, shit, I don't want to see you back here no more. I want to see you back in my court. You're going to LTI, a Renaissance. And that was it. But that was how the times was back then, you know. I'm really caught dead to the wrong. And yeah, we made a phone call, man. Back then, to make a phone call days. You know, now with all these call logs and wiretaps and all this, man, you been to call somebody, man, everybody being lost their job, end up in the penitentiary. But back then was a different time, you know. My mom made that call to him. I went by, and Tony fixed it. You know, I'm talking about. I don't. We ain't pay no money, man. I ain't giving that. You know what I'm saying? And I had a paid lawyer. You know, the judge's best friend is my daddy OG or whatever you want to call it. Yeah, that was perfect storm. But I mean, you know, I went through trouble after that, so I don't know if that was a good thing or a bad thing. I don't know. I went through shit after that, so did fixing that the way they fixed it help me? I don't know, because I definitely didn't quit. The saying is true, man. A slap on the hand, man, don't teach you a lesson. You know, sometimes you got to be set on your back pockets to learn a lesson and realize, yeah, this might not be it. But yeah, man, I ain't gonna hold y'all too long, man. That was a story from Jugg, man. You know, Big Mike, if you know me from the Juggernaut. Watch this here, WDH TV, man. We here. We're gonna be dropping content regular. You know what I'm saying? Don't mind my studio setup. I'm currently under renovation. You know what I'm saying? We're gonna have something live for you soon, more professional setup. But we just getting started. We 2 months in, and we dropping this content for y'all. I'm out, man. Instagram, Jugg WDH, WDH TV. I got 2 Instagram pages. Uh, TikTok, Jugg WDH. And of course on YouTube, WDH TV. Fuck with me, man. Content here, like, subscribe, and share. One.